and we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson here. And every year around this time in the NFL offseason, we get a topic that we constantly talk about on this show. 2 years ago, it was Aaron Rodgers, who we, talked about just now. I forgot what it was last year. It might have been Brady. I think it was Brady stuff. But this year's Lamar Jackson. We have talked about this topic a lot on this show. Now, yesterday was the first day that any teams could have negotiated with Lamar Jackson. So there was a lot of talk, about collusion and or the owners colluding or they not. But yesterday was the first day that an actual team can negotiate with Lamar Jackson. Okay. Now, so far, no traction. So is Lamar Jackson's relatively quiet market the biggest surprise of the 2023 NFL free agency? And Dujane, the mic is yours to kick us off.
Yes and no. Um, First of all, we all know, and these teams know that if they're going to pay out this money, that they're also going to lose draft capital, and that's 2 first-round picks. So that's a lot for a lot of teams. Um, they have to really think about this and make in this type of decision. Um, it could be make or break, and we've seen that teams that aren't ready. Teams that aren't ready, like the Jets, you know, they're you can't just give away things when you don't have any real solid pieces, especially offensively around you. Now, I say this: if Lamar Jackson was anybody, David Carr, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, it seems like there's only really one team that's understands the level and the what the black quarterback brings. It's okay when guys like Justin Herbert and Josh Allen run around and do that. It's cool. But then we get to guys like Lamar Jackson all of a sudden, and Deshaun Watson had that too, talking about him being a running quarterback, and all of a sudden now, they just don't last that long. But we don't say that when it comes to these other guys that do the exact same thing that don't look like them. Now, it seems to me that maybe what the NFL is trying to do in racism and all these little catchphrases we have all over the field, seems to me only one team really understands and is really putting their foot forward. They paid Deshaun Watson what before any of what he was going through, what he was worth. Now, it seems to me that the rest of the league thinks that they can buck the system because they don't want to do something. Well, haven't we heard as media members that the market is the market? Well, the market was set. So you have to at least get close. And then you have to look at the fact, what has Deshaun Watson done that he hasn't done? He's done more. So he should command that or more. But again, a lot of talk about, all these racial things, but it's very clear. The NFL only values one quarterback. And it's okay for that one quarterback to be just like their counterparts. But for them, they have a harder way to go. That's what I got.
I mean, look, I would say this, right? Is it the biggest surprise of the free agency? I would say the fact that the non-exclusive tag was given to Lamar Jackson is more surprising to me, because the last time we saw a tag like that actually went through was 2000, when I believe it was Joey Galloway. He went from the Cowboys to or Seattle to the Cowboys that year. So I wasn't expecting to see the non-exclusive franchise tag, because when you do a tag like that, you're allowing your franchise guy to negotiate deals with other teams. So I think that in itself was surprising. Whereas when you do the exclusive tag, you have the package variety, where you're not only regulated for 2 first rounders. Deshaun Watson went for 2 first rounders in his deal, and players and picks and more picks, right? Russell Wilson went for like 3 or something like that, and more players and more picks. So if you're the Ravens, you actually box yourself in with risk that can pay off for you, however you think it is, or could backfire. If one team says, you know what, I want to take the gamble here and go after Lamar Jackson. So I would say that. Now, when you talk about Lamar Jackson, right, and I always have a lot to say about this because it's just a polarizing topic. And when you talk about this topic, the media is split in half. You have a lot of people that are saying that Lamar Jackson, he's worth $250 million guaranteed. You have other people who talk about the durability and the injuries and the Ravens perspective. I always try to remain neutral, but I'm really about to get into it the way how I see it. And I'm a type of guy I always look at actions. Actions speak more to me than what Lamar Jackson could tweet, what the Ravens could tweet on their website. I always look at actions. And this is the conclusion that I came down to. First of all, I do believe Lamar Jackson needs an agent. Okay, just like a criminal needs a lawyer. Okay, somebody that has that backbone to protect you. Okay, to make the right chess moves. You need that backbone, I think, right? Now, obviously, there's other athletes that probably don't have agents. I believe Walcon Smith didn't have an agent when he signed for that $100 million deal with the Ravens. Okay, but in Lamar Jackson's case, he needed one. Why? Because 2 years ago, I firmly believe an agent would have told him to hold out and get your money then, back yonder, 2 years ago. Just like how Kyler Murray, after his third year, and everybody kept questioning Kyler, oh, why does this contract, conversation keeps coming up, this report, why does it keep coming up? Because he put public pressure to get that contract. The NFL stands for not for long. Your ACL can snap any day, whether you're a pocket passer, whether you're a runner, you could blow out your ACL. And that's what happened to Kyler Murray. But guess what? He put the public pressure and he got his money. Now he's protected. You think he's getting that contract after that ACL injury? Hell no. He either getting traded or he getting tagged. That's it. So Lamar Jackson, by having an agent, that would have got situated years ago. It might not have been the money he want, but they would have got situated then. Because the agent would have said, you know what? Secure that money today. But you know what it is? Cold honest truth. Now I'm going to give it to you straight cheese here. Lamar Jackson had it in his mind that he wanted to offset the market. How do I know that? I don't know Lamar Jackson personally, but how do I know that? As I stated before, actions. A couple years ago, I know y'all remembered it because I did. I was here. I was alive 2 years ago, I'm not 2 years old. I was alive 2 years ago. Everybody was like, yo, Lamar Jackson, put the pressure on the Ravens to pay you. What did Lamar Jackson say? I want to finish out the season. Why did he say that? Because he wanted the price to go up on the market so he can get the money that Watson got. We don't find any coincidences that as soon as Watson got his money, Lamar Jackson tune changed. We don't put 2 and 2 together and get 4. Everything was okay. I want to play out the season. I want to gamble on myself. I want to bet on myself. As soon as Watson got his money, Lamar Jackson came from the woodworks and said, you know what? Now pay me. Let me hold up signs. Pay me. I want that. That's why he didn't have an agent, because he wasn't trying to hear that. An agent would have told you, yo, 2 years ago, let's put the public pressure to get your money. Okay, let's do it. He didn't want to hear that. Release the middleman so you can get what you want. Trust me, I know. I'm a young dude myself. I know how it is when I want something. Nobody can tell me, Leel, no, that's not it. No. If I want something, I'm going to go get it. Get out of my way. I don't want to hear you. I'm going to go get it. I'm young, just like how he is, right? So that's what it was. And that's probably going to hurt Lamar Jackson in a way, because guess what? Let's say no team offers the 2 first-round picks and he's stuck under the tag. Is he going to have a standoff like a Le'Veon Bell where he sits out a year? He missed out 11 games in the last 2 years. So he's going to sit out, right? Or are we still going to offer him that contract that he wants after that year is over? Or the Ravens just going to tag him again and trade him? Or let's say he plays under this tag. He give the Ravens the benefit of the doubt. You know what? I love football. I love the game so much. I'm going to play. What happens if what happened to Kyler Murray happens to him? Now you're not financially secured. Get your money. Okay? You can never outdo your time. When it's your time, it's your time. You can't push your time back. The society The world don't work like that. You cannot push your time back. If your time is now, get it now. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm glad that Lil said the way he stated that because we was going back and forth about Lamar Jackson getting his money for a little while now, and he need to get that money. I think to answer the question right out, it is daunting that his market is relatively quiet. It is a bit of a shocker because a lot of teams need quarterbacks. When you look at the quarterbacks, the starting quarterbacks, let's look at the NFC alone. There's a lot of teams in the NFC that needs a quarterback, and the fact that Lamar Jackson is not being looked upon is ridiculous. I'm glad that Lil stated that the Deshaun Watson contract, because I feel like if Lamar Jackson did have a lawyer, an agent, he would have been told you're not playing a single down further until you get paid, and that's that. Like let the contract run out. Let them say whatever. They could tag you. You're not getting nothing. You're not doing a thing until you get paid, and that's the end all be all. Deshaun Watson had just went through one of the craziest trials in modern day in sports history. All those allegations and things of that nature. He still got paid $250 million guaranteed, because he had an agent. He had an agent that took care of all that and got him what he wanted in the first place, which was to get a big contract. Something that the Texans didn't want to do, which is still fishy because the Texans knew a lot and looked the other way, but then came back around with the receipts when Deshaun Watson wanted to get paid. A little sketchy for me. A little sketchy. But I digress. Lamar Jackson, he's playing the public opinion now. He came out with the 133 guaranteed 3 years, not enough. Talking about people just throw, they put a doodle emoji on the wall and think it'll stick. He's doing the public opinion thing now. And is it too late? I don't know. I don't know if it's too late because right now the Baltimore Ravens are in a very interesting place. I think they didn't sign back Huntley, so he's not coming back to the team. I don't know if they have plans of getting a quarterback because if Lamar Jackson decides I'm not playing, what are they going to do at quarterback? It implicates a lot of the coaching staff because we just signed Todd Monken. Are we going to keep John Harbaugh for the foreseeable future without a quarterback? That's interesting. The GM is calling out the receivers. The receivers are calling out the GMs. There's a lot of turmoil happening in Baltimore, and all of that is a microcosm because you didn't pay Lamar Jackson. Everything happens because you didn't pay Lamar. J.K. Dobbins, him going out in the media. Why are you trying to play Huntley like he's Lamar Jackson? He's not number 9. Let me run the ball. I want more touches. Why is Huntley playing like he's number 9? There's a lot of turmoil over there. But the biggest question is, why is Baltimore not paying him his money when he is 95% of the action on that offense? Is Lamar Jackson. That's, you try to change the plays when he's not on the field, but when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, all you think is Lamar Jackson. Even when he's hurt, all you think is Lamar Jackson. You're not thinking about J.K. Dobbins. You're not thinking about Mark Andrews. You're not thinking about the defense. You're thinking about Lamar Jackson. You're not thinking about John Harbaugh, who won the Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson got there. But guess what? That's Lamar Jackson City. And for whatever reason, the Baltimore Ravens don't see it as that. For whatever reason, like Dujanay said, when you look at Josh Allen, the running quarterback, he's doing just a great job. He's doing everything. We don't need to run the ball. But they pay him his money. They gave him a great contract because they know he's Buffalo. So why the hell is Lamar Jackson not Baltimore? What is it exactly about Lamar Jackson, about his game, about his talents that is not Baltimore? And the last point before I pass it on, they are forcing him to run the football. It's not like, oh, he's calling the plays. No, we're going to run. They are forcing this man to literally put his body on the line, game in and game out, game-winning drives after game-winning drives, getting hit maliciously and not paying him his money. That is baffling to me. I don't know if they see RG3 when they look at Lamar Jackson, but it is disgusting the way they are treating him in a business sense. And maybe he needs that agent to tell him, yo, listen, you're way too talented, way too gifted to keep putting your body on the line for people to continue to mistreat you. That time is gone. I'm your agent now. You're not playing a single down until you getting paid. It could be from the Ravens. It could be from the Canadian Football League, but you're not playing a single down until you get paid.
I think it's too late for that. It's too late for that. And that's why I strictly said that it should have happened 2 years ago. He's getting older. You're talking about he's still in his prime. But that should have been something that happened 2 years ago. You can't tell somebody like that who missed down the stretch, back-to-back years, that many games, and say sit out this year. That just would end the career to me. You can't do it. At least with Deshaun Watson, I understand he sat out a whole year, But he didn't have those injuries a year prior. Like the year before he sat out, he threw for like 4,000 yards with like no number one wide receiver. Right. So you can't tell a guy like that to sit out. I just don't think that would be smart. I think for me, and you said why the Ravens not paying him. Like I said, I try to remain neutral. Me personally, if you ask me what is the most valuable asset in the NFL, I would sit here with a straight face and tell you a quarterback on his rookie deal. I would tell you that straight up. That's why when you look around the league, Dolphins, for an example, they're building around Tua. A lot of people was like, wait, hold up. Tua brain is fried. Why are they still trying to operate with Tua? Why don't they go after Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers? You know why? Because they're expensive. They want a cheap Tua so they can build around Tua and try to go win a chip with Tua. That's why they add Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek Hill back-to-back years. Two championship-level players, okay, on defense and offense to help that team out. That's why you look around the league, you see the Eagles. They build around Jalen Hurts. Give them all that pieces on defense last year to go on a Super Bowl run, which they did. They didn't win it, but they went on the run. And you said Josh Allen, Janae, and you said Josh Allen, Zay, but literally, if you look at the deals and how the deal is worded, always look at the contract and how it's worded. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady were all on team-friendly deals. They constructed the contract where they can pay other guys. So Tom Brady, that was his motto. I'm not trying to be paid. I'm trying to win a championship. So that's why he took the route of, yo, I want to take care of my boys. Josh Allen, when he got his contract, he set it up where they can keep a guy like Stephon Diggs and not trade him. Patrick Mahomes, the same damn thing. And I bet you 100 beans, an arm and a leg, that not Josh Allen, Joe Burrow will be the same way. Because Joe Burrow said, my championship window is my whole entire career. So the only way you can live through that and live that way and live to that expectations is if you do the same thing Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes did. The reason why I bring that up, and I'm not pocket watching here by any means. I want to make this clear. If Lamar Jackson won his money, he has a right to want his money. But what I'm saying is, when we talk about the NBA, and Zay, you're famous for this. You came at Dame Dollar because, you didn't say because he took the money, but it was a loyalty thing. But most people, when they talk about Dame, they say he just bag chasing. He don't want to win no championship. And everybody come at Dame. And everybody come at Bradley Beal because they want the money. They just want a thing, right? They don't want to join super teams and win a championship. How we don't keep the same energy here with this exact situation? We know $250 million guaranteed in a salary cap league is going to be expensive. Somebody not getting paid. And then we come on the show. Oh, deservedly right. Lamar Jackson has not had any weapons. Y'all right. He hasn't. No number one wide receiver. Just throw him a few tight ends. That's it. How is that going to get better once he get this money? $250 million guaranteed. It's not. So at the end of the day, we have to look at things from a straight, arrow and look at everything we're saying, because sometimes we're running through a brick wall when we listen to ourselves. At the end of the day, we're going to keep that same energy in the NBA, in this ring culture, and talk about the players that participate or don't participate in the ring chasing, the ring culture. Then how about the winning culture in the NFL, which is, I know I am the most valuable asset to my team. I'm a quarterback, the most valuable position in the NFL. But I do know I want to win a championship. But I do know if I take this money, somebody on my team who I go to war with is not going to get paid. That's why the Ravens are not paying Lamar Jackson.
See, that's why I said this is a yes. It is surprising, but it's not. Great points there, Leel. You look at the capital that has to be given, and he's right about the contracts. Like a lot of these contracts, it allows them to give them money and over a certain period of time, especially Pat Mahomes' contract, over a certain period of time, but it allows them to bring players in. And with those contracts, those teams don't mind going back after a couple of years and then restructuring a contract and throw you some more money and redo the deal and move that funny money so they can still continue to bring players in. And that's my concern with Lamar Jackson and this big contract. That's why I said the 2 first-round draft picks plus that money, it's a lot for teams to take in. I mean, you look around, everybody, with the Commanders are saying, why aren't the Commanders doing that? Leo makes a great point because I got Sam Howell. I'll bring in a guy like Jacoby Brissett that's a solid backup and obviously can help this young kid. And I'm not losing out on Deron Payne. You can pay guys like Terry McLaurin. And that's what I worry about with Baltimore. When you look around Baltimore, who are you throwing the ball to? I mean, they don't have wide receivers like the Jets have. I mean, who are you throwing the ball to? And you're going to pay this man $250 million guaranteed, and then who are you going to be able to get? And then he's back in the same predicament. You're putting your quarterback at more risk because you have to use him because you don't have anybody else. And if he gets hurt again, Lord forbid if it was seriously, that's $250 million gone. And you hurting for several years. We know what this happens when you make a call. Sometimes people will say at least 5 years when you make a mistake at quarterback and overpay, overspend. It's unfortunate for him. And like you guys have said, should have had an agent. I really agree with that. He would have gotten his money a while ago, and he would have been there to demand that money. But now it's very hard for people. It's hard. It's going to be very hard, and I don't know if it's possible. But again, like you said, culture is everything, and you can still get your money, and I'm not crying with that. But the people that could do it, look around. They're the same as Baltimore. They just don't have enough players and enough pieces to warrant that. And then in the future, they won't be able to get any more pieces. You know what I mean? It's hard. So it's
especially
unfortunate.
in a salary cap league. Like
Exactly.
the MLB, it's no salary cap in the MLB, so the owners could dish out these guaranteed contracts. It don't come to a detriment to their pockets.
Right.
Where in the NFL, when you have a salary cap, you have to work within the salary cap.
Yep.
So like that's the thing with me, and it's like a lot of people I'm hearing, and like I said, I try to remain neutral as possible, but a lot of people I'm hearing say, "Yo, the Ravens are not paying him his money." Zay's the same way. He just said it. Ravens are not paying him his money, but Lamar Jackson said, I don't want your money. How many years did Lamar Jackson, the last couple years, and I was there, I seen it, bro. I remember last year. I was here. I was covering it on the show. How many times did Lamar Jackson said, you know what? When the Ravens tried to offer him his money, I don't want your money. He said it. I don't want your money. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to gamble on myself. I don't want your money. Okay, you're going to gamble on yourself this year because you want to make more money. That's what it comes down to. Lamar Jackson always had in his mind that he wanted to reshape the market. That's fine. No problems there. But you have to live up to it. If you say, I don't want your money now, I'm going to gamble and bet on myself. That's what he said this year, right? I'm going to gamble on myself this year. But what happened to the gamble? You got hurt. You wasn't there to fulfill your promise and to fulfill your expectation because you got hurt. So you could have got taken care of last year or the year before. If you had an agent that was in your ear saying, you know what? Let's secure that bag right now. Because they might try to do some fishy business down the line. You might as well off your MVP year, a couple years after that, while you still hot and you're the hot big thing in the NFL. Let's get you your money right now. Before we look at the playoffs and we look at the resume and the 1-3 and like the injuries, and now it makes it harder to pay him. Where he at that time could have got paid before, and that's the thing here.
I actually wanted to mention a couple things when I mentioned like Ravens not paying Lamar Jackson. It was for a bevy of reasons. One, I feel like they don't view Lamar Jackson as the guy to take the Ravens to the next step. I don't think they view him as this franchise player that has been winning them football games on a year-to-year basis. I think they just see him as another talented player that they had, but they're willing to move on if it means saving their salary cap. Because the last few years, we can make the argument the Ravens haven't really paid anybody. They don't pay anybody any crazy contracts because it's a revolving door with Baltimore. You're in, you're out. That's it. There's nobody since you could make the case Ray Lewis that has been a franchise guy for the Ravens.
Walcott Smith got $100 million deal, so you could kind of put him in a little exception, because he got his money.
You could. That's very true. You could. Also, I think this heavily impacts Lamar Jackson not getting paid. Heavily impacts what the Eagles will do with Jalen Hurts. I think it's a very similar situation here where both quarterbacks have taken their teams to another level by their improvement in play. And I think the Eagles are in the same place because even the front office wasn't really sure if Jalen Hurts was going to have the season that he had. You know, they knew the kid had talent. They didn't know he would go to a Super Bowl. They didn't really have the faith that they had because there was already questions all through the media before the season last year. Is Jalen Hurts the quarterback? Could he make the throws? Is he going to run? You know, all these different things. Could he make it work with A.J. Brown? So, you know, there's a lot of different narratives that are painted until you make a Super Bowl, right? Until you show that you can win on a grander stage or even get there. Even now, people still I heard a couple people the other day questioning Jalen Hurts, his ability to win. We're up 10 in the Super Bowl. Oh, he can't close out a game. Like, brother, he just went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
He's winning 30 each game.
you shouldn't
like,
be debating with people or talking
like,
sports with those clowns.
So
be
I
honest.
say all that to say this. Like, last point is just that Lamar Jackson, right? It's like it sucks that it may be his last opportunity to really get paid what he's due, right? It sucks, and I'm afraid to see in a couple weeks or a couple months down the line where he accepts a contract that's well beneath what he deserves just because he wants to have some security down the line. So let's say he gets paid 25, 30 million a year, and it's just like, bro, like Jimmy G just got 25 a year. So how the hell is Jimmy G getting 25? You only getting 30? Like it's like stuff like that where having an agent, like we all said here and agree, clears all of that up.
Because a lot of people, right, when they see, first of all, a lot of people, right, and I use the Kyler Murray example. I'm gonna focus in on that, right? Because a lot of people, Zach included on the show, salute to Zach, my guy. You know, he was like, yo, why is this Kyler Murray contract keep coming up? He even got tight. Like, yo, you supposed to be focused on the season, trying to, you know, prove something because you didn't win in the playoffs, or you played in the playoffs, you got bombarded by the Rams. It was one of the worst playoff games by any quarterback ever, literally, by Kyler Murray. He said, you know, I'm not even coming out. I'm going to sit on the bench. You can go in there, substitution. But it wasn't Kyler Murray. I doubt that was Kyler Murray. That was his agent saying, yo, let's secure the bag. That wasn't Kyler Murray. That was the agent. A lot of the times when we see, you know, like Ben Simmons when he was acting up in the NBA, right? It was his agent that was telling him to do this, right? Anthony Davis, I want to play with LeBron. It's the agents that speak for the players. Some of the times we think it's the players talking. No, it's the agent that's talking. And Lamar Jackson needed that backbone. And I'm afraid that he's going to put all his chips in one basket and he's going to walk away with nothing. And when I mean by nothing, he'd probably get another contract. He's Lamar Jackson, but the Daniel Jones type of money. I'm talking the Derek Carr, Jimmy G type of money. That's nothing for a guy of his caliber. So by you pushing your chips instead of securing that bag long ago, 2 years ago, holding out. All right, I'm going to put public pressure. If you don't pay my money, I'm going to sit out through training camp. He literally did not go to training camp for the first 2 weeks, and it wasn't nothing to do with the contract. He just said, I want to work it on my own. You could have did that for the contract. You could have said, you know what? Extended leave of absence for the contract. Now we're going to start talking because you need me. I don't know, man. It's surprising, though, but it's not surprising. But it's surprising in a way because, you know, it's Lamar Jackson still. So you do expect to see a contract from that perspective, from face value. But when you look under and over, it's really not that surprising that no team has offered Lamar Jackson yet. I mean, the Saints was like, yo, I'm going after Derek Carr. The Raiders was like, I'm going after Jimmy G. You know, the Dolphins, I'm going to stick with Tua. Okay, the Jets here. The Jets. Hello, New York. You mean to tell me you rather trade for a guy for 1 year in Aaron Rodgers instead of just sending over 2 first rounders for Lamar Jackson? We already got a bunch of young players who are signed for on their rookie deals. Hello, make it make sense to me. If there's any team that I think should go after Lamar Jackson,
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
if there's any, because I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be an honest guy. There's not a lot of teams based on how their salary cap is situated or their referee is situated that I think could go after Lamar. But the Jets, hello, what's going on here? I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, we are going to pass it to Zay for the last words. Zay, look like he's about to talk.
Oh, I'm about to just repeat what I said the last take. Please, like, subscribe the channel. 99 Pod. Like I said, we put a lot of work in. Please comment. What do you think the biggest surprise of the 2023 NFL free agency? And any comments you have regarding Lamar Jackson.
I got one more. I got one more surprise. And this is my 1B right here. I guess you could say Tom Brady being retired. I thought he would have been a Raider right by now. I still can't believe Tom Brady is done. I can't believe it. We got a comment right here by NFL Mike, my guy. Watch out for the Colts buckling up for Lamar. They've swung and missed so many times. It may be desperation time to lock in a quarterback. I agree with that. The Colts would be a terrible place to go if you're Lamar, though. Respectfully.
Yeah.
I don't like that fit, but I do think they need a quarterback. They do. And they made no moves to move up in the draft. The Panthers, sweet, I'm gonna move right past you. I'm gonna just leapfrog you. I'm gonna just stand there and hope that somebody falls. Now, how about you get a quarterback, my guy? Where you gonna sabotage yourself? You hired Steve Station. Okay, why you hired a quarterback guy if you don't got no quarterback?
They're gonna get Gardner Minshew. They're gonna go in that Minshew mania.
Here we go with that.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.